True perfection in Stardew Valley doesn't come easy. Only 1% of Stardew players have done it, but I'm determined to get to that peak. This is part 2 of my perfection series, and in the first part, I finished the community center. If you want to see how I did that, the video is linked in the description. Thanks for how nice you all were with part 1. It made me really happy to see all the overwhelming support on my video. But enough of that sappy stuff. I've got to get married, go to Ginger Island, and even explore a new festival in my perfection file of Stardew Valley. What a wonderful way to start the year back on the farm. Time for some uninterrupted... Oh, who are you? Hi, Kent. It's 6 a.m. This could have been a letter. Anyways, my farm is a wreck, and I need to fix the fields for lots of spring crops. I check in on my animals who haven't been outside in a whole season, then place my trophy front and center, so I always remember that I saved this whole valley from corporations, and everyone should be super nice to me. I'm off to Pierre's to buy some... Wait, nope. First, I creep on an aerobics class, and then I buy a bunch of seeds, focusing on cauliflower. I make sure to buy garlic seeds too, the new spring crop. I say hi to Shane, ignore his red flags, plant my crops, and go to bed. It's a good luck day on day 114, and I decide to go to Skull Caverns. I buy some bombs from the dwarf, then hitch a ride with one of the valley's alcoholics. It was all going well. I found some secret notes, killed a slime that gave me money, which feels like a new feature. I'm actually not sure. And when I found a treasure floor with a farm warp, I thought, I'll just go home early. And then I was trapped behind a tree without an axe, 6 feet from my house, where I passed out. I have 700 hours in this game. How am I still so bad at it? I woke up to a 69 gold bill. That's so nice. And I made sure to clear that stupid tree. I checked in with my forest neighbors to see that they still wanted some oysters. Then I showed that I'm definitely the strongest person in the valley by lifting Leah up over my head. Only for her to friend zone me? Okay, definitely not marrying her. I took 200 hardwood and 10 iridium bars down to Willie's. Now I still need 5 batteries to finish the boat repair. It'll probably take me until the summer thunderstorms to get those batteries, but I'll be checking the traveling cart and slaying iridium bats in Skull Caverns to try to get the 3 I'm missing. I'll also be befriending Pam because sometimes she'll send a battery in the mail. I deliver those oysters to the raccoons and am gifted with carrot seeds. Thanks, guys. Then I gather my wine from my small but mighty keg empire. On this rainy spring 4, I decided to try to catch the legend, and after so much trouble with the glacier fish, never mind, I caught it first try. At Robin's, I sided with her against Demetrius in a debate about a tomato, and then Robin showed me how to make the flute and drum blocks, because she can trust me more than her stupid husband. I found Shane passed out in the rain, and I took him to Harvey's. I asked y'all in the comments of the 100 Days video who I should marry, and actually a lot of you like Shane, for all the wrong reasons. Me too, besties. That is our man. I will be putting a ring on that finger. Or a pendant around his neck. Abigail and I had a jam session in the rain, then I did something I've never done in all my hours of Stardew. I commissioned Robin to build a stable for me. Then, to get out of the rain, I headed into the sewers to buy a star drop from Crocus. On my doorstep, Shane told me he was going to start going to therapy. We love a man who prioritizes his mental health. I headed to my frenemy, the traveling cart, to look for batteries, but ended up leaving with a Joja catalog. It's my new personal mission to try to collect as many of these catalogs as I can. I don't know how many there are or how to get them, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get them all. There was this really hilarious pop-up when I placed the Joja catalog saying that furniture might cause me bodily harm, which actually ended up being super relevant when I watched Clint drink Joja's new drink and blew himself. While visiting Granny Evelyn, she said we were close enough that she trusted me with her cookie recipe. How sweet. Took me 2 hours the morning of the 6th until I realized there was a new member of my family on my farm sitting out in the open. Named my new horse Spork, and quickly learned how dumb I've been to never have built a stable in years of playing Stardew. Look how fast I am. I spent the rest of the day on the ice floors in the mines trying to make a dent in the monster eradication goals with focusing on dust sprites and skeletons. I rode Spork to the traveling cart where I purchased a fez. I decided to give my new steed my beloved party hat. He looks so handsome. Aren't we just a sight together? I haven't been to my coop in a while. Let me check on my... I've made a mistake. I will be gathering eggs more often. I decided to try to catch the mines fish today, and I had no trouble with the ice pip, and then got beyond frustrated when it came to the lava eel, and left to try to get this guy another day. I caught Marnie and Lewis behind the bushes and then watched the wizard break up a fight between the dwarf and Krobus. Lots of drama in the valley today. Pam sent me a battery in the mail, which means I only need 2 more to repair the boat. I bet I'll be totally successful and get them before summer. After felling this random tree, I reached foraging level 10. I chose Lumberjack when I leveled up later that night, but during the day I sold old weapons to Marlin at the Adventurers Guild, then cleared out the quarry a bit more. I told Sam I like high energy dance music, which is a lie, and covered for him when he made a mess in the kitchen. I took my pickaxe to Klitz to be upgraded to Iridium, then I checked out the raccoon's shop and knew I needed fruit trees to fulfill their next requests. I need apricots and cherries, so I might as well get the rest of the trees. I went to Pierre's and made sure I got one of every kind for the greenhouse, and I ended the day with dinner at Sam's house, where I felt like a part of the family. For better or worse. I guess hanging out with Sam so much yesterday made him think I'd want to see his band play in Zuzu City. I'll stop by if I can, buddy. I heard Abigail fighting with Caroline, and does Abigail seem way young in her cutscenes? Personally, she's never been for me. I am so sorry, Abigail stans. Then I bought potatoes and DSG, Deluxe Speed Grow, from Pierre's to try to make Pam 12 bottles of potato juice before the end of a quest. When I dug up these little worms, I found a trash can shirt. Now my outside can look like how I feel inside. So anyways, I decided to take my ancient fruit that I've been saving in the greenhouse, start filling the missing bundle. I'm probably going to go for everything except the aged wine because honestly, it's easier that way. I spoke to Lewis, and every day I love my choice of farm name. I went to Sam's show on purpose and listened to his band play high energy dance music. I actually might ship him and Emily now because she's way too supportive considering what we just watched. The morning of the Egg Festival, I found a letter from Krobus that the wizard helped him write. That's kind of cute, actually. Then, in what is becoming a yearly tradition, I bought strawberry seeds and kicked Abigail's butt at the egg hunt. It feels good to win again. I replaced all my freshly grown cauliflower with strawberry seeds. Then read a letter about a new 3-day desert festival. I don't know anything about that, but I'm excited to find out. I made sure to give Haley a birthday present since she's so hard to please every other day of the year. I picked my fully upgraded Iridium pickaxe up from Klitz and headed to the desert to pick up more starfruit seeds for the greenhouse and exchange jade for staircases. When I got back, I saw that Spork had been wondering where I'd been, and I spent the rest of the day heartbroken to have upset my little friend. I'd take you everywhere if I could, yes I would, little Spork. It was raining in Pelican Town, which meant it was a perfect time to check out a brand new desert festival. I started the day by talking to a weird chef who made me a sour salad after I answered his BuzzFeed quiz. There's a lot to do here, like go for Marlin's Skull Caverns quest, which I was not prepared for at all, and gambling. I love betting on Shoe Biscuit. I would trust them with my life. The goal of this festival is to collect calico eggs, which act as a kind of currency. Different villagers open shops with different things you can buy for eggs. I guess for me, I could have gotten a rabbit's foot here for the community center since my rabbit still hasn't dropped one yet. Luckily, I don't need one. My favorite part of this festival is the stall where Emily and Sandy will dress you in a new outfit every day. I certainly look normal now. The cactus man gave me a cactus that he says is the perfect match for me, and I ended up buying a velvet bow as a new hat. I went home to decorate with the cactus, and I think that guy was bullying me. Since it was a decent luck day, I decided to try one of Marlin's challenges and went to Skull Cavern for eggs. During the Desert Festival, you can find eggs just by exploring, or using weird totems that potentially make your dive more challenging. My mini run wasn't very eventful, but I did end up leaving with over 240 eggs. I got another makeover and bought another bow, then headed home. Today was the last day of the Desert Festival, and it was also the day my potatoes were ready to harvest. I can't believe I'm supplying the local alcoholic with more booze, but that's the name of the game, baby. Back at the festival, I saw Pierre was selling eggs for money, a move that is totally against the spirit of the event, but one I totally support. I had my last makeover, bought a mummy mask, and went back into the caverns. It was pretty uneventful, but I did see that I made over 100k today for the first time. Pretty cool. Day 130 started with me replanting my greenhouse with starfruit and ancient fruit seeds. I'm thinking I'll eventually want to fill the whole greenhouse with ancient fruit, but for now, the split with starfruit definitely works. I harvest oak resin from my tapper farm and clear out the quarry to make room to expand my keg empire. I take my hoe to Klitz to be upgraded and then decide to further expand my resin farm next to Grandpa's shrine. I have a rather unpleasant drink with Elliot and then give Pam a beer for her birthday. I should really stop supplying her, but hey, she might send me a battery in the mail, and I need that. Anyways, I continue planting my oak trees and quickly realize I'm about to experience one of my favorite Stardew cutscenes in a mummy mask. It's a beautiful mistake that I must now live with. Haley was cool and a little flirty despite my outfit. Maybe she's not so bad. I check the traveling cart and find nothing but disappointment before heading to the Hat Mouse to make sure nothing like this ever happens again. I realize I've never found and returned Robin's axe, and I make sure I catch her on the way to the bar. She must not have missed it very much because it's been gone for almost a full year. Haley sent me a letter saying how much fun she'd had. She didn't like me until I wore the mummy mask, which means either I must be uglier than I thought or Haley has tastes I wasn't expecting. I head to Robin's because I need a fish pond to start harvesting squid ink and some other stuff later in the future. Then I share some totally normal and not hallucination-inducing tea with Caroline. She's got secrets. I like her. I picked up my hoe from Clint and chose to try to get ectoplasm from ghosts for Rasmodius, even though I only had 2 days left in the quest. I searched in the ice floors for monster musk, then found it with a lucky drop. The next day, after checking the traveling cart for batteries and finding nothing again, I took the ectoplasm straight to the wizard. This peaceful Sunday morning, I barged in on Lewis to get bee houses and diamonds from the prize machine. I love prize tickets. Then I finally had enough money to buy the outrageously overpriced books from the bookseller. There I bought Way of the Wind Part 1, Horse, the Book, and Ol Slitherlegs. All books designed to help me move faster. I emptied and refilled my kegs before dropping off the potato juice in Pam's fridge. I left with a guilty conscience, but I forgot, knowing how much money I was going to make off finishing a request. Today, I harvested strawberries, then saw an example of yet another man in this town who could benefit from extensive therapy. I spent the evening cooking to work my way slowly to perfection. Since it's not likely I'll get to Ginger Island anytime soon, looking at you, traveling cart, I've been working on raising relationships, monster slaying goals, and cooking. It's not as fun as exploring Ginger Island, but I didn't get lightning rods quick enough last summer, which is a bit of a bummer for the start of the video, I'm not gonna lie. I checked on my relationship tab the next day, and I'm actually doing way better than expected. Lewis is my best friend, which is awful, but I can and will change that. I spent the whole day on the ice level of the mine, slaying skeletons and dust sprites, while trying to level up my combat skill and work on those monster eradication goals. I checked on my progress in the Adventurers Guild, and I probably still have another couple days on the ice floors before I get those monsters done. I also got a skeleton mask, which I'm sure I won't regret unlocking. So it's the Flower Dance Festival, and I'm dressed like this. And it doesn't totally make sense that Shane would dance with me while I'm dressed in a skeleton mask on what is kind of our first date. This is my truest form, Shane. I don't know what to tell you. This is romance, baby. Other people play Stardew like this. I'm not like other people. I knew today I had to upgrade my keg empire. I put down pathing so rocks would stop spawning through the quarry. It had been super annoying, and I could have easily prevented it the entire time. I exchanged 3 prize tickets at Lewis's, earning me key mystery boxes, magic rock candy, and another Stardrop tea. With the 1.6 update, you can upgrade your copper pan, so I started doing that. At Pierre's, he tried to extort the local townspeople for some gold star vegetables I gave him. You know what? I might be starting to regret kicking Joja out of town. Shape up, Pierre. I spent that evening back in the kitchen. I even unlocked Sous Chef, showing I've cooked 25 recipes. Only 55 more to go. Fun. Today was my last strawberry harvest of the season, and I swear I spent all my traveling cart luck on the last 100 days video. I bought a new hat because 2 insane looks in romantic cutscenes is too many. At Robin's, I moved my stable and upgraded my house. Grandpa's letter told me he would return on the dawn of my 3rd year. Did Grandpa confirm part 3 of this series? It should drop sometime in December. Please subscribe. These take so long to make. And then my rabbit finally dropped their first foot. Nobody get upset. She produced a foot in her own time. This morning, Leah told me about her art show in town, then I went to Klitz to pick up my pan and open some geodes. I cleared out these trees to make room for a machine area, and I used this sign to be sure I wouldn't forget why I did that. On the last day of spring, I was excited to see my kegs ready because all this money is going straight to melons, starfruit, and blueberries. I stocked up on some more starfruit seeds, then headed to the mountains where I ran into the wizard. He complained about his ex and sent me on a quest to break into her house so he can get his magic ink back. Free will is an illusion in Stardew, and I will help this man commit a crime. Oh, also I leveled up in combat, finally maxing all my skills. With the beginning of a new season comes the same terrible farm layout. I started by planting some of my starfruit with deluxe speed grow, then headed to Pierre's. There I found his secret stash because I love sticking my nose in everybody's business. What do you think is in his stash? I actually have no idea. Pierre's totally willing to forgive me after I dropped 17k on seeds. Later, I hit up Leah's art show, but am distracted the whole time by her super creepy ex in the corner. Pursuing your art career is cool, Leah, but have you ever considered pursuing a restraining order? I head to the sewers to go ask my boy Krobus about the Dark Talisman, and they say they dropped it, so I have to go squish some bugs to grab it. My grand pig was born. I named them Dr. Oink MD because my pigs are all high achievers. I went to Skull Caverns and finally found a dinosaur egg. Then I died. Again. I can't believe how bad I am at this game. On the way to the old Joja Mart, I saw that I had started working on Mastery. I don't know what this means at this point, but I'll explain it later in the video. I dropped off a prismatic shard for the missing bundle, then went to Robin's. There I asked her to move my greenhouse, and I saw you can add other rooms onto your house? I didn't know this, but I'm sure everyone else did. And then I went to the Mastery Cave and read a letter from Grandpa. I've got a long ways to go until I can unlock any levels of mastery, but it's super cool to look forward to after finishing leveling all my skills. I spent the rest of the evening working on making a little machine field to try and clean up my farm like all the aesthetic girlies. Today, on Jazz's birthday, Shane gave her a pair of bunny jeweled slippers. Then he showed me his blue chickens. That was cool, but not as cool as discovering that this book Marnie sells lets you access her shop whenever you need. Now my animals won't starve anymore. Screw you, Marnie. I never liked shopping with you anyway. It's your fault my animals starve on Mondays. With how sweet and how much growth he's gone through, I knew I wanted to ask Shane to be my boyfriend, so I bought a bouquet and waited for that special moment. JK, I tried to date Caroline and the game wouldn't let me, so I knew I had to settle. I helped Haley find the bracelet she lost on the beach, and she hugged me in a way that made me, for a moment, reconsider if I really wanted to ask Shane to be my boyfriend. I wish I could put requests in at the traveling cart to increase the chance I get what I'm looking for, because there's still no damn batteries. Alex and I play catch, and that's truly all I did that day. Let me have a lazy summer day, thank you. Another green rain day means harvesting lots of moss. I made the trek through the downpour to get my final axe upgrade at Klitz, and I decided during this terrifying and unexplained weather, I didn't want to go through this wacky world alone. So I asked Shane to be my partner. Then he immediately started talking about the weather again. He's the one for me, y'all. With this summer thunderstorm, I've got lightning rods making battery packs, which means I'll finally get to Ginger Island within the next couple days. After a failed, last-ditch effort to not hate the traveling cart, I talk with Elliot about his novel, and Alex about how I'm smarter than he is. I went fishing to replace the rainbow trout in my fish pond with a sturgeon. You need sturgeon roe to make caviar, and that's one of the things I need for the missing bundle. But when I fished up the sturgeon, I was shocked to get enough roe with it that I didn't even need the fish pond. What a waste! Glad I built that. At the bar, I found Shane staring at a cactus in the corner. What a catch. Today, my batteries were ready. I sprinted down to Willie's to finish fixing the boat. I mean, the boat was fixed, but he needed the batteries so he could charge me to go to the island. Guys, I hate to say it, but Willie might be a rat. I got my eye on you, Willie. I also decided to go for the summer's legendary fish, the crimson fish. I tried and royally failed the first time, so I went back to the farm to craft a cork bobber, my favorite of the bobbers. Then I went back to the ocean, and on the third attempt, I caught the crimson fish. It gave me a little trouble, but still way, way easier than the glacier fish. But who cares about any of that, because it's Ginger Island time, baby. I buy a ticket for 1,000 gold. Willie, my god, stop extorting the locals. I'm taken on a personal cruise to the island paradise. I see a small boy hop out of a tree and run away from me. I have no questions. I gather the first of 130 golden walnuts that I have to find and give it to this parrot. I try to speak to the child, but he's too nervous. So I leave him, the clearly orphan child, to go wander around the island. I'm on vacation time, baby. Finding 9 golden walnuts and this bird that works for Joja Mart, says it'll find the walnuts for me if I pay, oh my, over 1 million gold. This is very, very, very tempting because I've only found all the walnuts once, but I'm gonna be diligent and find them all, including the second worst part of Stardew. Simon says. I use my walnuts to tell the turtle to get out of the way and make my way to the west side of the island, unlocking the farm. Here I meet a strange old woman who gives me a photograph of a war memento. I wonder which traumatized war-based villager would want this. I'll have to think about it. I spend the rest of the day messing around looking for walnuts, then I head back to the valley to sleep in my own bed. I decide to head into the cave by the quarry to grab the golden scythe. I wish you could have multiples of tools in Stardew like you can with the scythe and the fishing rod. I swear I'm always losing my watering can. I spent hours waiting to give Maru a birthday present, only for me to realize she was outside with her telescope. Happy birthday, Maru. Here's a single strawberry. After harvesting my kegs, I went to the luau, where I actually talked to everyone this year. And for the second year in a row, we feasted on mayo soup. Maru electrocuted me, which is red flag behavior. I still paid her mother to upgrade my home because I don't have a choice. At the bookseller, I bought Way of the Wind Part 2 and the price catalog. I've got quite a few more books to find, and I have no idea where to look. I dropped caviar off at Joja Mart, getting me one step closer to finishing the last bundle. After refilling starfruit seeds in the desert, my trading quest took me to George with a universal remote, then to the wizard with an arctic shard, and the wizard gave me a worm in exchange for an item of rare magical properties. Seems fair. I took the worm to Willy and ended up with the pirate's locket. Looks like I'll be heading back to the island soon to give the necklace to Birdie. On Alex's birthday, I walked in on him, shirtless, lifting weights. This disturbed me so much that I fled to Ginger Island to start my starfruit farm there. I built a bridge to the dig site and eventually saved Professor Snail, who was stuck in the mushroom cave. He asked if I find any bones around the island to bring them to him. Sure. Why should you do your job when you can ask a complete stranger to do it for you? Honestly, I get it. It's a trend here in the valley. Today, I was able to finish the raccoon's request for dried cherries because my tree finally grew. They gave me the raccoon journal, which means weeds have a greater chance to drop mixed seeds now. This would have been helpful a year ago. At Klitz, I finally upgraded my watering can to iridium. I donated a couple things to the museum, and Alex called my shoes dirty, which I think is him being nice. Abigail asked if I was wondering why she was in the graveyard, and actually, I was. And that's a creepy thing to ask in the middle of the night, rock eater. I took a battery to the box in the bus tunnel to start Key's quest line. Then I stargazed with Maru in a totally platonic way on my way to take a rainbow shell to the box at the train station because what else would I do on a Sunday night? I made a couple more crystallariums to produce jade for staircases, then headed back to Ginger Island to give the mysterious woman the pirate locket. But it turns out she's not outside on rainy days. My bad. So I goofed around until the mysterious boy decided he wanted to talk to me. Turns out his name is Leo, and I would and will protect him with my life. My dino egg hatched, and I named it the only appropriate thing. I picked up my watering can from Klitz, then headed to Ginger Island, where it was raining. If only I had some sort of icon that could have told me the weather. Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I decided to try to do a volcano run instead of wasting my day coming here. I am bad and slow at the volcano, so I head back to the farm to rest up and try again later. I take a small wine harvest into my new basement that comes with casks. I'm gonna age some of my starfruit wine just for fun. I'm way too impatient to wait 2 full seasons to age my wine all the way to iridium quality, even though it does double the value of the wine. I need money, and I need it today. On my way back to Ginger Island, I run into Alex crying on the beach. I'm learning way too much about this man after asking Shane to be my boyfriend, I swear. I finally give Birdie the pirate's locket on a sunny day, and she's super grateful and happy to die alone. Couldn't be me. I unlock the farmhouse on the island, meaning I can finally start sleeping here. So I do. On day 158, I wake up determined to conquer the volcano, and I technically do, even though it takes me all day. The 10 floors here feel so long compared to Skull Caverns or even the regular mines. But I do have access to the forge now and can upgrade my tools and weapons with magma shards. I should probably be more excited about this, but spoilers, I forget about it pretty quickly. Back in the valley, I picked some blueberries. I'm missing that sound. The sound of money. Then I head to the traveling cart just to be disappointed. In the evening, I put 10 beets in Lewis's fridge and receive a riddle I never would have solved without the wiki. I check on my mans at the bar, then head to the forest. I see a sign for the Trout Derby that I will happily not be participating in. I did my time last year, Trout Derby. In the Mastery Cave, I'm not sure which one to pick first, so I choose Foraging Mastery on a whim. This unlocks golden mystery boxes, the Mystic Tree Seed, and treasure totems, which I assume will help me find the missing artifacts for the museum. A TikTok will later tell me I chose the Masteries in the least helpful order, but I'm living in bliss at this moment. I wake up to a letter from Lewis telling me that I'm ready to get married. So he's been watching us at the bar. Very creepy. When's the next election? I would like to vote this man out of office. I craft and plant the new mystic tree seeds I unlocked, then head to the sewers to catch a slime jack. I'm really trying to 100% fishing so I never have to fish again. Now I'm one fish closer to achieving my dream. Shane invited me to go to a grid ball game, and I think this is our first kiss, which is kind of super sweet. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen this cutscene before. I spend the rest of the night cooking because I'm really trying to keep this to a 3-part series, you feel me? Joke's on me though, it rains the next day, and I immediately buy a mermaid pendant for Shane. But I don't propose. To prove a point. To who? I'm not sure. On Ginger Island, I start gifting Leo duck feathers because they're one of his loved gifts. And I need everyone to love me, or I'll cry. I only have 62 golden walnuts, so much for being any kind of good at this game. I'm back in the mines today trying to catch the cave fish. I grab the stonefish, then I try my hand at the lava eel again. After an insane amount of trash, I grab the eel with little trouble, which I consider very lucky. I put a lot of thought into this lifelong commitment before proposing to Shane in the place he was rude to me for months. Our relationship is full of red flags, but I've got rose-colored glasses, baby. I spent today slaying things of the mine without monster musk. I don't know what I was doing, and now neither do you. Today I was determined to catch an octopus, and with the help of this bubble spot, I did. That's another fish off the list. On the 25th of summer, I forgot it was my wedding day, and I looked like this. I guess Shane still liked me when I was wearing a skull at the flower dance. Maybe looks don't matter to him. I don't know. I don't really know him that well. Anyways, we're married forever now. But I got work to do. I choose Mining Mastery as my second mastery choice, unlocking the Statue of the Dwarf King and the Heavy Furnace recipe. Then I head back to the ice mines to slay more bats. Truthfully, I wouldn't want to spend my wedding day any other way. I'm sure now the only reason Shane married me is for my keg empire, and I don't blame him. It's producing about 100k every week and growing. This is for sure the fastest I've made money in Stardew. On Ginger Island, Leo and I talk about my life in the valley. He seems really torn up about his place here, and Willie's determined to help him. Later that day, Leo and I walk down to the dock where he meets Linus, who can also speak bird. Linus, I did not know that was a thing you could do. I thought we were besties who shared everything. Leo decides to move to Stardew Valley to grow up with the other kids, as long as he can come back here and visit his bird family, and I'm excited to have him in the valley. Then he asked me if I think he could ever be a normal kid again. Kind of a lot of pressure to put on me there, but I say maybe. Leo says that maybe one day I'll be a part of his bird family, and I would love nothing more. Then his bird family fixes him a treehouse in the valley, and I can't. This is too much. This game really hits me in the feels sometimes, you know? Then George sent me rocks in the mail, and I'm right back to a normal Stardew Valley experience. Also, a weird frog looked at my melons, garlic, and wheat before giving me golden walnuts. This is a strange game. Now I've got 80 walnuts? How am I so slow at this? I just want to get behind that door. Back on my farm, I collect my last big summer harvest and prepare for a Skull Caverns run the next day. With luck on my side, it's a day for diving in the caverns. I decide to miss the Moonlight Jellies Festival because the run is actually going really well. I make it to floor 100 where Mr. Key calls me a cheater and gives me weird milk. Okay. And before I knew it, it was fall. I give Shane a kiss and head out to clear my dead crops and set up for the new season. Pierre was taking a day off today. Boy, if I could rob this man, I would. I left all my money on the counter and hoped Marnie wouldn't steal any of it. I wouldn't put it past her. Pumpkins are going to be my big cash crop this season. Maybe I'll even get a giant crop. I head to Ginger Island, and I don't remember fixing the beach resort, but I bet that's where Pierre was yesterday, that scumbag. Also, if Robin was single, hey, you know. It was raining on day 171, and without much to do, I went to the desert to refill on starfruit seeds. I checked on my forest neighbors and saw they needed dried purple mushrooms and eggs. Getting 5 purple mushrooms of the same quality is going to take a while. I kind of wish I'd gotten the mushroom cave. What a bummer. I spend the rest of the evening getting soaked in the rain and fishing for eel for cooking recipes. I continued to have no regrets about marrying Shane as he handed me over microwave pepper poppers for breakfast. Thanks, baby. I decided to finally finish the Dark Talisman quest, but I was stopped by the henchman. Lil Freak was in my way, so I went fishing. I caught a gold quality void salmon, which was the last thing I needed for the missing bundle. I donated the fish and the dinosaur mayo to finish the last bundle and send the final Junimo home. On Ginger Island, I played the mermaid her song during a storm, and during the night, the Junimos repaired the abandoned Jojo Mart. I started the day putting legendary fish in this tank Willie sent me, then headed to the quarry to add 27 more kegs to my keg empire. I make sure to give Elliot a birthday gift when he comes back from the island. I know there are Elliot fans out there, but I am not one of them. He's never interested me, and to be honest, I usually forget about him. I head back to the henchman with his favorite snack, void mayonnaise. Then I head inside the Wizard's X's place to grab his magic ink and head to Klitz to open geodes. I was shocked to get an auto petter out of a golden key box. I didn't know that could happen. I really like 1.6. Then on a picnic, Vincent asked if I had a boyfriend, and Penny said she was happy I wanted a big family, even though they were both at my wedding. Penny, that's kind of disrespectful, you know? And in front of your students. I chose Combat Mastery as my third mastery, but most importantly, I finally got a new hat. Late in the night, Dr. Oink MD had a baby that I named just Nate. My beautiful baby grand pig. I think. I've lost track. The 7th of fall was a Skull Caverns day. I made it to floor 111 before calling it. I left with a bunch of goodies, but didn't take the bus home until I gave the dragon his last meal. A solar essence. I still don't understand that riddle. I checked on Just Nate this morning and was happy to see them happy. I picked up the Taro Root Island ingredient quest from the request board and headed to Ginger Island to work on that. I saw Pierre's shoulders, which felt illegal, and bought a bunch of stuff from this talking bird creature. I'm not sure. I used the bone fragments to trade for all the taro tubers I needed and spent hours planting all of them. I went to the east side of the island at night to hang out with the pirates and play darts for more golden walnuts. I'm usually pretty decent at this game, but I was terrible tonight. If you've noticed, I haven't done a Ginger Island staple yet. Simon Says. I'm actually horrible at this game, and the last time I did it on stream, I had someone clip it so we could watch it in playback. If you want to watch my experience doing it this time in full, the clip is on my Patreon. But for now, here's a sneak peek. Oh my god, there's one more! Oh no, I don't know! Oh my god, I don't know! I think it's either green or purple. I literally forgot. I thought that was the end of the pattern. Like I said, if you want the full video along with monthly updates on me and the channel, check out my Patreon. Hope to see you there. But back on Ginger Island, I built the warp totem home. I was also able to enter Mr. Key's room where I could see how far I've gotten in perfection. 50%. That's better than I thought it was going to be. But I've still got a long ways to go. I end the night by starting to set up a couple kegs on the island. After a full day, I get a mysterious letter telling me to meet someone named Fizz in the watery cave, which I wrongly assumed to be the pirate's cave. I trek back to the dig site to find a totally trustworthy fellow willing to sell me perfection waivers for 500,000 gold for 1%? Thanks, but no thanks, Fizz. I'd rather only play Simon Says than pay that much for a percentage point of perfection. I'm gonna grind it out without you. I went to the volcano to search for more golden walnuts and left with a bunch of stuff and a new t-shirt. I added more pathing to the quarry today, then headed to the desert, fully intending on spending all my hard-earned money at the casino. Hell yeah, this is a gambling video now. I wanted the top hat for obvious reasons and the rare crow to try to complete the set of 8. I went to the slots machine and on my second spin, I doubled my 3,000 coins. And half a minute later, I won 3,000 more coins. Then, for the first time ever, I won the big jackpot. And felt pretty good leaving the casino with my fancy top hat. I don't know what to spend the rest of these coins on, but I feel like I look pretty cool right now. It's a Ginger Island day where I replant the farm before a brief stint in the volcano. I head back to the valley to empty and refill my kegs with more ancient fruit and starfruit, cause the grind never stops, and neither do I. At the booksellers, I buy the Queen of Sauce cookbook. It immediately teaches me any of the Queen of Sauce recipes I've missed, which would have been helpful, I don't know, 179 days ago? I tried Junimo Kart Endless Mode for a key quest and realized I am horrifically bad at this game. I will be trying this and Fector's Quest on my Twitch streams, so be sure to follow me or subscribe to my VODs channel so you don't miss it. At my natural enemy, the Traveling Cart, I buy the Junimo catalog before heading to the Wizard's Tower to give him back his magic ink that I've had for, a little over a week. The wizard thanks me by allowing me to pay him to build the teleportation obelisks. Great, I need a lot more money. I've got most of the materials, but the bananas and dragon's teeth are gonna be a real pain. Today, on the rainiest of days, I moved my crab pots back from the beach to the river because I need a periwinkle for one of the cooking recipes. Then I make sure to give the rock eater a birthday present before heading to Ginger Island. On my way to the dig site, I found a new shirt and spent the day looking for fossils and dragon's teeth in the volcano. Today was another full day in the volcano looking for dragon's teeth to build the obelisk and buy a banana tree. The end game is where Stardew can get a little grindy for me, but I'm trying to get that 1% achievement. My taro roots had grown for the island ingredients quest. I harvested and shipped all of it before grabbing the Keys Prismatic Grange quest, where I have to place 100 red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple items in the box within 2 weeks. I don't usually have too much trouble with this quest. For orange, I use copper ore, for yellow, sap, and green, fiber. Everything else depends on what I've got a lot of, so I guess we'll see what I use. Back on Titty's farm, I have a field of pumpkins, furnaces, and tappers waiting for me. It's cool to see how far this farm has come and how bad I still am at decorating it. I head to the Mastery Cave and finally choose the Farming Mastery. If you're playing Stardew, I recommend choosing this mastery first. The Iridium Scythe lets you farm crops with it way faster than picking by hand. It is such a time saver. Such a silly goose for not grabbing it sooner. At the end of the day, I replant the fields with fairy rose flowers just to change it up a little. I start day 184 with a weird conversation with the hubby before heading to the Stardew Valley Fair. I set up a Grange display just to see Pierre lose, then talk to everybody around the fair. Disappointingly, Vincent is too happy that his dad is back this year to say his iconic catchphrase. And when Jazz says moo, it's just not the same. I picked up a rare crow before leaving because I knew I needed all 8 to unlock the deluxe scarecrow recipe. But I wasn't really sure which one I was missing. I lined them all up at the farm and damn, it's the witch one. Just in time for Wicked. I'll be sure to grab that at the Not Halloween Festival. Then I teleported to the island so I could wake up there. I started my day harvesting and replanting starfruit before immediately teleporting back to my farm. Bit of a waste, I think, but we move. I went to Klitz to open up some bits and bobs, and I found the treasure appraisal guide, which allows my artifacts to sell for triple the price. Now, on the 6th of fall, when I unlocked the combat mastery skill, it made it so trinkets have been allowed to drop. Admittedly, I didn't know what that meant, and I refused to look it up. I've been actively collecting trinkets this whole time without digging into what they were, but when the parrot egg dropped in the mine, I had to check this one out. I was so excited about raising baby parrots because, you know, that's what you do with eggs in Stardew, you incubate them. But no, this was a trinket that gave me a little friend. Forget this basilisk paw, you're coming with me now, forever. With my new bird friend in tow, I went to the river to catch the fall's legendary fish, the angler. And because that was so easy, I went to the sewers to catch the mutant carp. Again, easy as can be. That's all the legendary fish caught. I don't know what the glacier fish and the crimson fish were up to. I swear they were way too difficult. Look at my glorious keg empire. 140 bottles of wine a week? Not too bad. I don't know how I'm going to keep up with the crops I need to maintain this, but that sounds like a problem for future me to figure out. Dang, over 400k gold in one day. Not too bad for a farmer from the big city, eh, Lewis? Back on Ginger Island, I head into Key's room to drop off the rest of the rainbow. After parting with cranberries, sap, blueberries, and void essences, I was rewarded with 35 key gems, some of which I spent on the recipe for magic bait. I went to the forge to enchant my pick and mining pan, then headed into the volcano to hunt for magma sprites and dragon's teeth. Day 188 was another volcano day that was going well, but due to poor time management, I passed out on my way back to the beach house. It's a bit of an L, but hey, this journey could be going better. It also could be going much, much worse. You'll never guess it, I spent the first half of the day back in the volcano. Then I headed back to the valley to replant the greenhouse and say hi to my husband, who I completely forgot about. I didn't want Skull Cavern to feel left out, so I went on this good luck day. I wasn't really trying for iridium here. I was making time to slay serpents and pepper rexes for monster slaying goals. I also got a new t-shirt, a new hat, and another exactly the same new hat. Very, very important. This has a 3.85% chance to drop in a treasure room, and I got it twice. This hat is my destiny. I was more than happy to pass out today with well over 200 iridium ore, making this my best run yet. I was back at Klitz today, asking him to smack stuff with his hammer. I can already tell gathering the last artifacts and minerals is going to be such a pain. Not really looking forward to it, but we do what we gotta do for the content, baby! Elliot had a reading of his new book in the library, and I couldn't focus because, do you see this? My parrot sits on top of my hat during cutscenes. That is so precious. I love this game. I haven't properly vocalized how searching for the same quality purple mushrooms has been an incredibly frustrating task for me to complete. But thanks to checking the wet cave today, I finally have enough to dry out for my forest neighbors. Call me Santa, because today was a big gifting day. Probus, Kent, and Sam all got presents because they like me the least and they're easy to please. I watched this beautiful montage of Leo's life in the valley, and when I tell you I was not emotionally prepared for this, y'all, I would protect these pixels with my life. I saw I only needed one more fish to have caught all the fish in Stardew Valley, and this one is a new one, added in 1.6. The goby lives in between the waterfalls at the bottom of the cindersap forest, and it's a pretty easy one to catch. With that, I've unlocked the Master Angler achievement, one step closer to perfection. This morning, I regifted Shane the same old microwave pizza he gave me to show my affection, and Willie sent me a 1,000-year-old family heirloom of a star drop? I feel like I shouldn't be the one to take this, but I won't say no to a gift unless it's from my husband. I took the dried purple mushrooms to the raccoon family and received a raccoon hat in return. 1, this feels like a weird gift, and 2, how big can their family get? By this point, I was in the middle of a key quest to gift 50 love gifts in the week. I ran around giving everyone gifts until I went to Elliot's house where I watched him play piano from the doorway, like a creep. On my way to give Harvey a coffee, I had an impromptu doctor's appointment. I wish healthcare was this easy in America. Afterwards, Harvey talked to a pilot in what is such a cute cutscene. If it wasn't for the mustache, this man might have been my favorite bachelor. Another huge keg day with profits to match. I should be able to start checking off the obelisks soon. I gifted Shane a morning beer and he asked if we should go to the Spirits Eve festival. That was kind of almost romantic, babe. Thanks. I decided to go back to Skull Caverns. I got an iridium sprinkler from a treasure floor and made it to floor 100. I'm loving the guaranteed treasure floor on floor 100. I think it's a really nice touch. I decided to take the bus home that night instead of passing out in the caverns for a change. Today was a day of more gift giving, starting with the wizard and moving along to Robin's house. I asked her to build a pet bowl because you can have more than one pet in Stardew now, and I already know who my next one's gonna be. Then I asked her to build a shed so I could start moving my machine field inside. Later, with the iridium scythe, I harvested all my fairy rose flowers, pumpkins, and artichokes. Every day, I wish I'd gotten this scythe sooner. In the evening, it was time for the festival, where I bought the jack-o'-lantern recipe and the witch rare crow. I was super excited to see the maze had changed this year. I got totally lost, but still had a lot of fun, especially when I found Leo participating in the festival. After a very full social day, Shane gave me a star drop on our doorstep, and now I think I'm missing the final star drop from... donating everything to the museum. Can't wait to grind geodes and artifact troves because Nepo baby Gunther won't do it himself. The 2 gift max to villagers resets every Sunday, so I spent all day gifting until I hit the 50 loved gifts goal. I actually love this key quest because it forces me to really focus on maxing relationships in a timely manner. It was a super fun way to end this fall season. Beautiful day 197 starts in winter with my man wearing a beanie. You were losing me, Shane, but now I'm back in it. Beanies look good on everyone. Jody sent me some fertilizer when there is snow on the ground. Truly useless, Jody. Read the room. I checked my fruit bat cave for, I believe, the first time in weeks to find it nearly full. I will not be checking it more often. I think it's fun this way. I'm going to be spending a lot of winter on Ginger Island, so I make a couple solar panels to take there, then spend my morning using my seed makers to turn ancient fruits into seeds. If I had known how much time I'd spend this season here, in front of seed makers, I might have done things differently. I also discovered that a jack-o'-lantern I stole from town turned into a rotten plant. This is an item I've never seen before. It's kind of gross, but fun. On Ginger Island, I start planting ancient fruit and add even more iridium sprinklers. I wish I'd waited because this quest, Keys Crop. This is what I will spend so much of winter working on. If you don't know this quest, doing random things all over the valley will produce key beans. They grow pretty quickly and you need to ship 500 of the fruit they produce by the end of the season, which means putting fruit into seed makers to make even more beans. It's a vicious cycle and it nearly breaks me every time I do it. I set up bee houses around a fairy rose seed to eventually produce fairy rose honey as a little extra money source. I've been steadily donating fossils to the Field Museum, and when I saw I needed one more, I went fishing to find it. Finally completing the field office. See ya, Professor Snail. Thanks for nothing. Well, I take that back. Finishing the field office rewards us with an ostrich egg incubator. And when I hoe up this tile, now I've got myself a new bird to incubate. I don't know if the egg being buried in the sand for who knows how long will affect it, but I'm not too worried. I make sure to plant the handful of key beans I found back on my farm, since you can plant them in any season. In the morning, I head to Klitz to upgrade my pan, then head to the wizard to ask him to build my first obelisk. If you don't know about obelisks, they'll teleport you to wherever the warp totem takes you on either the beach, mountains, Ginger Island, or the desert. The ones for the desert and Ginger Island are pretty essential for late game, and the other ones are super cute. I built the water obelisk, which will take me to the beach. Late in the evening, I fished for a squid to finally place in my fish pond. I need it for recipes and squid ink. Wow. Here we are. 200 days. I've accomplished so much. And you get to see another 24 days before this part is over. Yay for both of us. Today was another pretty basic Skull Cavern run, but I wasn't here for Iridium. I was here for the beans. I found that doing a Skull Caverns run at the beginning of the Keys Fruit quest really makes things easier in the long run, because you'll find a bunch of beans blowing stuff up. I found 14 of them and left early because I wanted to harvest my keg farm before bed. It's taking me longer and longer, but I'm almost making 500,000 weekly, just from wine. After gathering oak resin and wasting my time at the traveling cart, I head to the Wizard's Tower to construct my second obelisk. I also moved my obelisks to try to, design something on my farm. With all the oak resin, I made 24 more casks, then put them to work in the quarry. I spent the rest of the day working on crafts, and when I tried the treasure totem I unlocked from Foraging Mastery, I realized that if I want artifacts, I need to wait until after the Keys Crop quest is done. Some of my key fruit have grown. This little face heaves my jeebs, and I don't quite know why. Remember when I said I was spending a lot of time in front of my seed makers this season? This is why. I turned my 25 fruit into 49 beans and get to work replanting them. I only need 500 fruit. Shouldn't be too bad. I gave Caroline a gift for her birthday, and then she immediately told me how to piss Pierre off. If it was an option, I would happily break up this marriage just to make Pierre miserable. On Ginger Island, I saw my mans in a t-shirt, then rebuilt the Parrot Express so I can zip around the island. The day of the fishing festival, I harvested more key fruit to turn into beans. Demetrius said something really weird at the ice festival. See, this is why the Stardew community doesn't like you, man. I cleaned up at the fishing contest again, making this a short but sweet festival day. Harvest, propagate, plant. This is my morning routine that takes well into the afternoon. I made some geode crushers so I don't have to give Clit as much money. But it turns out you can't crush mystery boxes or golden coconuts in them, which feels like an oversight concerned ape. I want to avoid seeing Clint ever again, please. I headed to the Adventurers Guild to see where I was at with slaying monsters. I picked up the wizard's hat and slime ring because I'd vanquished enough skeletons and slimes. Looks like I'll have to go out of my way for the void sprites, but everything else will probably happen naturally. I had a terrible thought while making more key beans today. I think I want to try the 999 challenge. If you haven't heard of this impossible Stardew challenge, it's a challenge made by the algorithm, where you try to collect 999 of every stackable item. This means crafting, artisan goods, cooking, 999 of everything. I don't want to finish it, that seems like way too much, but I think I want to try it. So if you see me starting to keep artifacts and random things, this is why. Check back at the top of 2026 to see if I've actually tried the challenge at all. I want to give it a shot for about a year. It could be fun or complete torture. I stopped at Clit's to have him upgrade my pan and open some boxes. Then my raccoon neighbors asked for some winter root juice and pickled snow yams. Thank goodness it's winter season. I'll help you out, little guys. Thankfully, standing in front of a seed maker was followed up by a giant keg harvest. Then I scurried to Ginger Island to start switching out my star fruit farm for ancient seeds. While I was on the island, I picked up Mr. Key's quest, Danger in the Deep, which turns the regular mines into dangerous ones, and I have to get to the bottom. I head back to Stardew Valley to give it a shot, and I forgot how frustrating these mines are without staircases. I go far enough to open the first elevator stop, then run home with my tail between my legs. I'm back in the dangerous mines today, and I wish I'd bought the Galaxy Hammer, but I'm feeling stingy for some reason, so I struggle all day. I make it to floor 23, but decide to leave as it gets late, so I have time to plant my key beans before bed. I'm how many days into this key crop challenge before I get fed up and decide to make a couple more seed makers? I'm processing dozens of fruits a day now, and it is taking way too long, but those key gems are so worth it. Also, I've got this big chest inside that I've been keeping extra artifacts and minerals in. I'm coming for you, 999 challenge. It's on, but like in a casual way. I make it down to the forest floors in the dangerous mines. I love the vibes, but everything is so much tougher here. Actually, I lied. I hate the vibes. These mushrooms freak me out. And at night, was it a secret, or did I forget to write it down? Either way, surprise! I gave birth to a baby boy that I named Charlie. Just like I have all my starter Pokemon since high school. I could take care of my newborn child today, or I could go back in the mines. And I think you know which one I chose. I found not one, but 2 Knight's helmets today. I made it all the way down at the bottom with the help of staircases. That's even more key gems for me, thank you. Shane says that we need to give our baby lots of eggs, which leads me to immediately check on my newborn. For the first time, my little ball of pixels is sleeping soundly, and I couldn't be more proud. I planted more key beans and shipped the first batch of fruit because I couldn't be bothered to make more sprinklers. That's 77 shipped, only 423 more to go. In the evening, I brought the pickled yams and juice to my raccoon neighbors, who gave me some fairy dust. They're looking to expand their family, and I can't wait. With the night market in town, I got to see Linus walking down to the beach and search a trash can to see this special dialogue. When I got to the market, I said hello to everyone, then bought a cone hat. I look amazing. Back on the farm, I turned my furnaces into heavy furnaces to try to make smelting a little more efficient. My husband told me to take care of the baby so I can run the farm, as if that's not what I do every day. I harvested and propagated more face fruit, then with all this keg money burning a hole in my pocket, I went to the wizards to buy the desert obelisk, then arranged them in this kind of semicircle thing. One more obelisk to go, and this one is by far the hardest. I went to Ginger Island to harvest my starfruit, but realized I don't have any more seeds. So I went to the desert, bought seeds, then came back to Ginger Island to plant those seeds because I'm actually very good at this game. Also, I picked up the 4 Precious Stones quest, which means there's another Skull Caverns trip in my future. 62% to perfection, getting closer every day. I really gotta pick it up with the crafting recipes. I also pick up the key to the town, because I'm ready for some breaking and entering. I'm back on the farm with a pretty big face fruit harvest. The iridium scythe is so nice. Please go for farming mastery first. Don't be a fool like me. I've brought my cinder shards back from Ginger Island, which is exactly what I need to craft the ostrich incubator. I set it up with the egg in the barn. I can't wait to welcome my new little friend. I take my 104 key fruit and put them in the seed makers until I have around that many beans to replant. Then the rest go to shipping. I pick up my iridium pan from Klitz, then run around talking to everyone to try to work on friendship levels. Leo and Kent aren't my besties yet, which is honestly rude at this point. Come on, you've known me for less than a year. Why aren't we homies yet? Then, using the wiki, I learned to head behind Clint's to find a secret golden trash can in the woods. This weird piece of Pelican Town contains the Alleyway Buffet, a book that makes it so items are 20% more likely to appear in trash cans, but that's not all the reading I do tonight. First, I play Not Dungeons & Dragons with Sam and Sebastian, then I burst through the Adventurers Guild to find this very obvious box in the back containing mapping cave systems, which gives me a 50% discount on recovery items. Once I read that, another achievement pops up showing I'm the best reader in the valley. These 2 key quests are really controlling my winter. I need prismatic shards and 300 more key fruit. But it's a keg day, and after the harvest, I'm able to place 21 more kegs, making this empire expand onto the bridge. I don't actually know how many plants I have set up right now. If I did, I wouldn't spend so much time here. I'm back in the regular mines with Monster Musk trying to clear out the void spirit population. So sorry, Krobus, it has to be done for perfection. While slashing, I found my first golden animal cracker. I unlocked these with farming mastery, and monster slaying is the rarest way to get one at 0.15%. It's cool because when you feed this to any animal other than pigs, it doubles their production output, making sheep almost not useless. Marnie, Jazz, and I see Shane coming out of the bar in the middle of the afternoon. We're worried he started drinking again, but don't ask him about it at all. And why would I? He talks about drinking at home all the time, so I know he never stopped. My heavy furnaces are making quick work of all my gold and iridium. Making these upgrades was totally worth it. I head to Ginger Island to keep up with my starfruit production. I also plant an absurd amount of pine cones because I need a lot of wood. And I still need to conserve my money to buy that $10 million golden clock. My island looks silly now, but I hope it'll be worth it. I plan to head to Skull Caverns tomorrow to try to do a run, but luck is against me on day 217, so I take care of the face fruit harvesting and replanting before trading for staircases and spicy eel at the desert trader. After coming back, I apparently accuse Shane of drinking again, which he takes offense to, for obvious reasons. To quell any emotions I feel towards this man, I head to his aunt's to adopt a little white cat that I named Toast after my girlfriend's little kitten. Here's a picture of real-life Toast. She's cute and very evil. I also stole Lewis's shorts finally. Damn, Marnie, you've had this man's shorts on your floor for how long, girl? Get over him. I checked the traveling cart to find a picture of Shane? This is new. Who painted this? I'll take it. I hang this painting up in case I forget what my husband looks like, then head to the mine to finish off the void spirits. It's a money-making day, babes. My aged wine is finally ready. Was it worth it? No, but here it is anyway. Marnie and I spy on Shane outside of the saloon because there's no trust in our relationship. I burst in to see what secret he's keeping from me, only to find my man playing a video game and drinking soda. Oops. Sorry, Shane. Marnie is a terrible influence. I gave Leo a duck feather and tried to butter Kent up with a daffodil since his love gifts are a bit hard to come by. Wild that Lewis wears his full business outfit on the beach. Freak. I put a banana on the strange altar to get to meet a gorilla. Alright. Was all that wine worth fermenting? You be the judge. Today I went to Skull Caverns to hunt for the 4 prismatic shards for Key's quest. Just for funsies, here's everything important that happened on this run. My first treasure floor on floor 17 had some bombs, and the next one on 38 had spicy eel. Then I fell really far and found some farm warp totems. Floor 76 had the first of 4 prismatic shards I was looking for. On 77 there were some super meals, but more importantly, there was a red cowboy hat on floor 100. Yeehaw. 102 was a Pepper Rex floor, and like the comet, I took out the entire dino population. Floor 127 had an auto grabber, and floor 131 had that second prismatic shard, followed quickly by floor 141 with that third prizzy. 151 had tomato seeds, and 180 had a couple rain totems. 185 had the final prismatic shard I needed for the quest, but things were going well, so I continued my descent. Floor 200 had some stupid cactus seeds and a seafoam pudding, and I actually made it all the way down to floor 240 before passing out. This is my haul. Not too bad. Today is a wonderful day, my friends, for I have finished the stupid Keys crop quest with this last shipment of face fruit. Everyone please clap for me. I crafted a bunch of stuff today, including the anvil and the statue of the Dwarf King. I made a bunch of braziers and a couple mini obelisks so I can teleport from my house to my shed. Later, on Ginger Island, I chopped down some trees and refill my kegs before watching Santa cross the sky. Happy not Christmas, everyone! After harvesting from my kegs and refilling my casks, I head into town to celebrate the Feast of the Winter Star. My husband is here, and he has said some shockingly sweet things to me, but neither of us brought our newborn baby. Shane, we might be bad parents. I gave George a leek, his favorite thing. Then I got an emerald from Gus. Thank you, buddy. I only have 40 of these. I put up a holiday tree as an apology to my child that I forgot at home. I'm back on the island to hand in my prismatic shards, which I forgot the last time I came to Ginger Island. I get the last couple recipes and Pierre's missing stock list from Key. I decided to do another run in the volcano because I still need a bunch of dragon teeth. After building the bridge and making it through all 10 floors, I find a whopping 1 dragon's tooth. I need to find a better way to farm these. I am clueless. I harvest half my starfruit and go to bed, feeling pretty defeated. But seeing little Charlie growing up makes me feel a bit better, so I launch them into the sky to celebrate all I've accomplished this year. I make and deliver some roasted hazelnuts to Kent because they're a loved gift, and he is the only one not to be my bestie yet. Rude. At Klitz, I have him open all the geodes I've collected and find 2 more minerals to donate. I guess that is technically closer to completing the museum. Then in the evening, I go to the Adventurers Guild where I see I've finished all the slaying tasks except for more Pepper Rexes and serpents. More Skull Cavern runs in my future. As a reward for slaying monsters, Gil gives me Marlin's telephone number, which would be cool except I don't have a phone. I craft a couple more things to round out the night, including the Statue of Blessings. I make sure to tie up a couple loose ends on my last day of year 2. I fulfill my raccoon neighbor's quest and give Kent a final daffodil to get him up to his max hearts. 65% perfection is pretty good, but I know I can finish it within the next year, if those dragon teeth don't become a problem. Be sure to subscribe because what I think will be the last part of this 100 Days series will be coming out late December, and I definitely don't want you to miss it. Thank you so much for your support over the first part of the series. I was truly blown away. Don't forget to check out my Patreon or Instagram for more frequent updates on future videos, and I hope you'll see me next time. Be kind to each other.